What's happening, everybody? Greg Ehrenberg here from Stokastic.com. It is Monday. It's Memorial Day, and I'm about to be breaking down the upcoming slate for Sorare. So as guys come in, please do me a favor by liking the video and subscribing to the YouTube channel. If you haven't signed up at Sorare, I'm about to give you a couple of just free stuff here because, I mean, what's better than free? First of all, it's free to sign up at Sorare. All you have to do is click on the link below to sign up, and that lets them know that we are the ones who sent you, but it's free. There's no risk involved at all. You're just signing up using that link. And then also, we have free player projections here over at Stokastic.com. And I'm about to be breaking down the next few days of baseball games, just an overview of my favorite targets and using these as a guideline for some of the players who might want to target, because it is free to sign up over at Sorare, like I said. But if you want a chance to win some really rare and unique prizes, you could buy some players on the secondary market and use those to play in some more exclusive contests and get yourself a chance to win really rare cards. One that I always like to reference is that in one of these contests, somebody won a one-of-one Giannis Antetokounmpo a couple months ago in an NBA contest and ended up selling for nearly $200,000 on the secondary market. So there's definitely some very valuable and rare prizes that could be won in some of these contests. But let's break down these next few games of few games of baseball. And the way that I want to do this is, number one, just my favorite overall pitcher to target for the upcoming games. And then be looking through some of the matchups, some of the teams, the series, and which hitters, which stacks we want to be playing based on some of those matchups. So where I want to start with is we have a pretty good matchup coming up for Shane McClanahan. He's going to be pitching on Tuesday, so that covers the upcoming slate. Runs Monday through Thursday for Sorare. 2 contests per week. One runs Monday through Thursday. The other one runs Friday through Sunday. And that's generally almost always going to be the case, with some exceptions built around stuff like the All-Star breaks and playoffs and things of that nature. But Shane McClanahan is going to be starting against the Chicago Cubs on Tuesday. And McClanahan's just been absolutely incredible so far this year. Towards the tail end of last year, there was a point where he was actually the betting favorite to win the American League Cy Young. And then what ends up happening to him is he suffered an injury. He saw a dip in velocity and just wasn't really able to bounce back. But starting off this year, he looks back in that Cy Young type form that we saw at the start of last year. 1.97 ERA so far. And yeah, I won't expect him to keep up a sub-2 ERA, but his underlying numbers are still really good. He has a 3.33 expected ERA, a 3.33 FIP, and the strikeout stuff as good as ever for Shane McClanahan, 29.1% K rate. This guy is just unhittable when he's on. It doesn't even matter what the matchup is, and he's a fairly decent one against the Cubs. Strikeouts in recent starts for him, 7+ in back-to-back starts, and those were in 2 tougher matchups, one against the Toronto Blue Jays, one against the Milwaukee Brewers. What also really stands out to me about Shane McClanahan that's going to help his fantasy production going forward, he has gone 7 innings in back-to-back starts. He had not topped 7 innings, or I should say, had not topped 6 innings in any start until the last couple, was stretched out to 7. His average fastball velocity is the highest ever of his entire career right now, 97.2 miles per hour. I love targeting Shane McClanahan. He's my favorite pitcher to look at for the upcoming slate. Now, I want to walk through, just for the next few days, some of the series that we're going to be seeing, teams taking each other on. And from there, I think we could try to identify who some of the best offenses are. So we've got the Rangers and the Tigers, no real priorities there. Padres and Marlins, no real priorities there. The Padres offense has been so disappointing. They are so stacked on paper, especially at the top of that order, and it just hasn't really worked out for them at the start of the year. I expect they're going to turn it around, but so far, Padres team 24-29. Pretty disappointing. Also a pitcher-friendly park in Miami, so nothing really to see there. I know last week Neil and I were talking a lot about the Miami Marlins, but that was when they were playing at Coors Field, and we don't have that Coors Field benefit. So back in Miami, going to make them less appealing. Guardians, Orioles, nothing to see really there. Brewers, Blue Jays, don't totally mind the offenses there, and Toronto's a hitter-friendly park, but still, I think there's better spots to be targeting. Red Sox, Reds, a little bit of interest there, particularly in the Red Sox. So let's look at some of the Boston hitters. And the way our projections work, it's not updated really on a day-to-day basis because it's hard to do that for Sorare. We're setting lineups in advance, but we do have is just baseline fantasy performance per game projections. And from there, we could figure out who some of our top hitters to identify are. And number one for us is going to be Masataka Yoshida, the current betting favorite to win the American League Rookie of the Year award. He's been excellent so far. I think in this matchup against the Reds, he looks really good. Reds pitching staff, not great. They've got Lively going for them on Tuesday. And then let's see, what is the pitching matchup on Wednesday? As if it really matters. The Reds don't really have anybody that they could throw out there. Is all of a sudden going to be like, oh, we should be afraid of him. But yeah, Lively on Tuesday, Weaver on Wednesday, Hunter Green. That is clearly the best pitcher in the rotation. But either way, I think the Tuesday and Wednesday matchups enough for us to target some of these Red Sox hitters, particularly some of the lefties in this matchup. So Yoshida, definitely somebody to look at. Any other lefties that we really want to go to? Well, the Red Sox really do a right-hand dominant lineup, huh? Yes, we'll just single out Yoshida as the guy to get to. He does have the highest baseline average for us in here. Devers as well. I can't find Devers right here on the sheet, but either way, Devers and Yoshida are going to be the two that I think we want to hone in on from the. Oh, here's Devers. Totally glanced over him. So yeah, Devers and Yoshida we already have with the highest baseline average, and then also just the matchup against the Reds. So those are two players that I think we should be targeting for this upcoming slate. And then one other team that I wanted to talk about here is who's taking on the A's. I had it off the top of my head a second ago. And basically any team against the A's is almost always going to look right, the Braves. The A's are not a serious MLB franchise right now. They are in the process of trying to move their team to Las Vegas and not getting a lot of support on that right now. They're just claiming they're moving, but they don't have a designation for a stadium or anything like that. And the team sucks. They're putting no resources in the team right now in Oakland. They're trying to get out of the city. And as a result, this team is 10-45. This is the worst record in baseball heading into Memorial Day. No team has ever been worse than 10-45. I don't even know what this team's final record is going to look like. They legitimately might win like 30 games. This could be a 30 and 132 win team. This is an absolute disaster of an MLB franchise. Anytime you have an offense going up against them, they're going to look good for so rare purposes. And the Atlanta Braves have one of the most potent offenses in baseball. Our number one hitter in our projections, Ronald Acuna, no surprise there. He's always going to look good. Also, excellent year for him coming off of the knee injury and some issues last year. He was banged up. Ronald Acuna, last I looked, he's like plus 115 to win the National League MVP. He's been awesome this year. Acuna makes a whole lot of sense. Matt Olson makes a whole lot of sense. Austin Riley, Ozzie Albies. Let's see. What are the handednesses of the pitchers going up against? Because Ozzie Albies, switch hitter, but he's better against lefties than he is against righties. Let's see. So some of the pitchers we have on two, which by the way, also with the Oakland A's, because their pitchers are all shit and they don't really matter, they don't even announce a lot of their pitchers that far in advance. JP Sears is going on Tuesday, and yeah, no announced starter yet on Wednesday. So at least for Tuesday, yeah, with Ozzie Albies going up against a lefty, that would make some sense. Matt Olson maybe a little bit less so. But so the hitters that I like the most here, Ronald Acuna, Austin Riley, Ozzie Albies, all really strong options. Sean Murphy also not a bad one. He's having an excellent year for the Atlanta Braves. So that's what I like building around for this upcoming So Rare slate. Pitching, Shane McClanahan. Offense, a little bit of interest in the lefties for the Red Sox, Yoshida and Devers, and then just stack up the Atlanta Braves against this terrible, terrible Oakland A's team. So that's going to do it for me. I hope you guys build some really good lineups for So Rare. If you haven't done it yet, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Good luck. On Friday, Neil and I are going to be doing our live show breaking down the upcoming So Rare slate. So go check that out. Have a good one, everybody.